you want me to start?
I think we're ready. I just hit record. We're live in the Facebook group. Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad for all of you to join us this morning. This is going to be a good one because we have your fan favorite. We got Manny Cash in the building. It's going to talk about cold calling. It's going to talk about follow-up. And just like you just said earlier, follow-up, man, that is the biggest part in your business. That's the one thing you need to be consistent on, especially going into Q4. I'm sure we got tons of leads that we built up probably in the fall, coming to the end of the year. Now's the time to follow up with them, stay on top of those leads. So Manny, thank you again for taking the time to be with us and to dig deep in some of these crucial aspects that we need to have in our business. So man, thanks for being here. And man, the floor is yours. What do we got going on today?
Of course, man. Well, thank you again. I know the Smarter Contact family, we're a huge fan of you guys. We love the platform. I love Adam. Adam's like, man, a good friend of mine, big brother. I love his entrepreneurship career. Now that you're partnering up with him and, work with him closely, Daniel, thank you for having me. I know we've been going back and forth and, do this trainings. Well, again, nothing. Thank you again for giving me the opportunity to share my knowledge. Guys, as you guys know, if you've been on the cash hour, the way I like to do this is like this. Because I don't want to just talk about talk. So I like to make it interact between all of us. So if you guys have any question, or maybe I say something and you guys are, I kind of want to ask a question based on what Manny said, feel free to just, raise your hand or type it up, and that way I can get an answer. Also, I don't know if we can put a attendee here to speak today. I don't know, maybe we can. But if you want to, ask me a question directly, just again raise your hand. That way I can talk to you. And let's any question you guys may have, any concerns on follow-ups, on offers, on acquisition, on cold calling, feel free to ask. So I want to start off with for those of you that don't know me yet, my name is Manny Cash. I'm head of acquisition here at Home Buying, Home Selling. We are a real estate investment company out of San Antonio, Texas. We do anywhere from 20, 30 deals a month virtually in 5 different markets. Myself personally, Daniel, I'm expanding to the multifamily market now. I already started this month, and we actually tomorrow closing on the 5 units. It's going to be our first multifamily, at least from my records. My first multifamily close. It's going to be tomorrow. That one's partnered up with my good friend Teddy, and we are already working 10 units, 50 units over there in the McAllen area. So my next move, my next focus will be onto the multifamily space, and also with the land development deals and commercial buildings. So but I want to talk about my expertise, which are single families and cold calling and acquisition. So one thing that I like to address, guys, is in order for us to be good at cold calling, we have to keep in mind that it's a communication, right? We what we're doing is pretty much is a communication job, right? If you want to call it, like I was telling Daniel off camera, real estate wholesale real estate is the product, but really what we're doing is closing people on setting appointments or closing them over the phone. So it's like I told Daniel, I don't care if I can give you a hot lead right now, and if you don't know how to communicate with them and make an offer and build rapport, then that lead is going to go waste. So one thing that I focus on in the last 3 years, it's in educating myself and in talking to them and making offers and rebuttals rapport. So right now I want to give you guys a quick breakdown on how I qualify them and what I do after I make an offer. One thing to keep in mind, guys, is being a call caller is one thing, but call caller, the difference are a call caller, they just qualify leads. They become good at actually qualifying, closing, ABC, always closing. So the calls and the rapport that you build in both of those conversations, they're a little bit different. So let's start off with the call calling part. The call calling part is like I said, it's call. They're not expecting your phone call. You have to be 110% on point in the first 5 to 10 seconds. What do I mean by this, guys? I mean that the moment you got on the power dialer, or whether you're doing it on your phones or Mojo or Zen call, whatever you're using, the moment that call pops up, that's what you want to be 110% energized, right? Enthusiasm. you know, became good at what you're talking about. Your pitch, your intro has to be so short and simple, and that even a 5-year-old can understand it. And the way I do it is something like this. For example, ring, ring, ring. Hello. Yeah. Hey, how you doing, sir? This is Manny. I'm calling about a property here up in Bandera Road. Wanted to see if you consider selling it. Question mark. That's it. Simple. Even at 10 years old, we understand that question. Because what I'm looking for is a yes or no question. Even if they say, if let's say they say no, that's perfect, not a problem to sell it. Do you happen to have any other property that you consider selling, or know somebody that's looking to sell a property? You may be surprised, guys, by you asking that question. I've got deals, but just asking that following question. Because a lot of people, what they do is when they say, oh, no, I don't want to sell, then they just hang up the phone. No, by you asking the following question of, do you happen to have any other property you consider selling or know somebody? Trust me, they know people, they know cousins, they know family member, they know friends, and they probably had a property that is vacant in, just to say, in another city, and they just, you didn't ask for it, and they're not going to tell you, but they're not going to tell you until you ask. So what I'm trying to say is always get the habit of asking for that following question. Now let's just say a homeowner says, yes, I want to sell, make me an offer, right? I'm sure you guys get a lot of those from the get-go, from the beginning. Well, you called me, make me an offer, what's your offer? Right? That's very common. I love that one. Why? Because that one, it's where I get to break the ice. Well, you know what, Mr. Selly, that's actually a good question. That's why I'm calling you for, to make you an offer. But before I get there, I like to ask, have you done any work to the kitchen or restroom in the last 5 years? See, so what I do is I acknowledge the fact that yes, I'm calling because I'm gonna make an offer. But before I make an offer, I need to know the condition of the property. See, now I'm getting to my qualification process. Okay. So when I start qualifying, guys, you guys want to ask about, kitchen, restroom in the last 5 years. You want to ask about the roof, foundation. One thing that I've noticed is that as a beginner, we tend to ask those questions all at once. Let me explain myself. Every time you ask about the condition of the property, never ask, Mrs. Sully, how is the kitchen, restroom, foundation, and roof? That's just too many questions at once, too many parts of the house at once. So what I like to do is break it down into two. The way I break it down, it's kitchen and restroom always goes first. Then I go into foundation and roof, right? Because I'm looking for bigger tickets item when it comes to rehabbing a property. Now, the way I asked about the foundation is, Mr. Sully, have you noticed any cracks in the walls lately? Any cracks in the windows and on the doors? No, well, yes, I have in the back of the house. Okay, great. Well, is it fair to say that my probably may need some foundation work? Oh, yeah, it does. Okay, great. No problem. How old is the roof? Is it about 15, 20 years? Yeah, about 15, 20 years. Okay, well, is it fair to say again that the property, that the roof may need to be replaced? Yeah, it may need to be replaced. If you notice this, guys, I say, is it fair to say? Is it fair to say that the property needs update? Reason why I want to come off soft and make half them tell me, yes, the property needs work. I don't want to be the one telling them, hey, your property is messed up. See? So I want the homeowner to tell me, yes, man, the property may need some updates. So by the time I'm talking numbers, and that moment, it's easier for me to negotiate because they already know that the property needs work. Is that making sense, guys? If you're making sense, go ahead and it's just say yes on the chat. I wanna make sure I'm not going too fast. Yes, makes sense, definitely. Okay, good, makes sense. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Awesome, awesome. Makes sense. Okay, great. So another thing is, guys, we have to understand that you're not a cop, you're not an FBI agent. We're not here to interview people. We're here to have conversations. Let me explain myself. And a lot of VAs make this mistake, and I get it, because they're hired just to calls and ask questions and qualify. And also the language barrier, the culture barrier. It's a little bit different. So VAs actually tend to make this mistake a lot. Not us here, the one that live in the state, but don't make it a questionnaire. What I mean by that is don't make it, oh, Mr. Seller, why are you looking to sell? What's going on with the property? When do you want to sell? How much do you want? See, when you start asking questions like that, then you become a cop. You become a cop. You become a questionnaire person. No, make it a conversation. And the way you want to make it a conversation is by you transitioning from condition, motivation, timeline, and price. Your transition has to be so smooth that it sounds like you're actually having a good conversation with them. And the way I like to do that is something like this. Once I already got the condition of the property, great, Mr. Seller. Now I want to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Manny. from to what? I'm gonna slow down. Okay, I'm sorry. I talk fast. So yeah, so condition, right? We start with the condition, then we want to transition to the motivation, right? Now we need to know why they're looking to sell, right? So the way I do it, it's something like this. Once I already got the condition of the property, now I'm gonna go ahead and get a soft pitch of who I am and what I can do for them. Great, Mrs. Seller. Well, you know what? Thank you for all the information. I understand the property may need some updates. I understand the property may need some work. I do want to say that our company is specialized in buying property just like yours in as is condition, meaning you don't have to fix it, you don't have to clean it, you don't have to paint it. As a matter of fact, if you have a lot of trash there, whatever you want to take on your property, take it with you, but don't even worry about taking the trash out. I'll take it as is. Does that make sense? Oh yeah, it makes sense. Perfect. The reason why I also asked the question, does that make sense? Is because I want to reaffirm, I want to keep the homeowner engaged with me all the way from A to Z. Okay, you guys are gonna see when Z is the actual price and actual offer. So just bear with me, okay? So once I tell the homeowner a little bit who I am and how we buy properties as is, and they don't have to worry about that, okay, great. But Mr. Seller, I'm kind of confused. I mean, it sounds to be a good property, and why you even consider selling it? What is the reason you're looking to get an offer for it? See, now I reverse engineer the fact that yes, I call you to make you an offer, but now I don't understand why you want to sell. So when I break it down like that to them, usually what happens is they're like, okay, well, I mean, you call me and you say you wanted to buy it. So why? Yeah, I want to sell. Oh, I get it, Mr. Seller. I call you, but I mean, is there something going on there with the property that we don't, that, I need to know why you're looking to sell? Are you moving out of town? And this is my favorite part, guys. My favorite part is this one because this is where you're going to find out the reason why they're looking to sell, but more important, this is where you're going to build rapport. This is the moment that you have to be good at building rapport and relate with people. And the way I like to do it is something like this. Homeowner says, yeah, I'm looking to sell because of the tenant. I've been a landlord for already 20 years and I'm already fed up. I don't want to deal with that anymore. Oh, great. No, don't worry. I'm just telling you, you know what? We actually going through the same thing. I have a few properties myself for rent and I know where you're coming from. Tenants on time, they don't pay on time. You gotta be behind them. And now with the Corona, they're taking advantage. So I know where you're coming from. I like to say this. I don't just buy property. I like to buy problem. It looks like you may have a problem here. Let me go ahead and buy it off your shoulder. Right. So pretty much I just put myself, I relate with them. I tell them, you know what? I agree with you. I never disagree. I'm not into the, disagreeing with somebody just to get a deal. I like just to agree to what they say and also relate, right? They're going through to he's a tired landlord. Mr. Seller, I agree with you. I know what it feels like. What about the homeowners looking to sell because this is behind on taxes? The property is $20,000 behind on taxes. Hey, look, Mr. Seller, I get it. Taxes right now, the county, they've been raising up the taxes like crazy, especially in that side of town. But hey, again, like I said, I don't just buy property. I like to buy problem. Let me go ahead and make you a cash offer. That way we can get the taxes solved and plus put some money in your pocket. Does that make sense? Is that sounds good to you? Is that, you know what I'm saying? So I always ended up with, does that sounds good to you? Does that make sense? Is that fair enough? Those little sentence questions at the end, it keeps the homeowner engaged to what you're trying to say. Now, this is for you guys. Does that make sense of what I'm saying? If it does, go ahead and click yes. Go ahead and type yes. Awesome. It does make sense. Okay, perfect. Okay, how do you close it over the phone before you make an offer? Okay, well, I'm answering this. Arthur, I'm answering your question. How do you qualify a seller before making an offer today? Okay, I'm actually going through the process. How do you make an offer? Okay, I'm going to cover how I make offers. What's the minimum amount of records should you have to start a cold calling campaign? Okay, I'm going to cover that one too. How often should you go through cold calling list? I'm going to go over that one too. And what do you say to call it doesn't admit they are distressed or property is distressed? Okay, we can go over to that one. So I'm finishing up with the first one. Now, guys, then once I get the motivation and I know what they're looking to sell, now I go to timeline. I need to know when they're looking to sell. Are they looking to sell today, tomorrow, next year, next month, when, right? We need to know that. It's super important because that's going to determine if it's a hot lead, a warm lead, or a cold lead. A cold lead that you may have to just nurture, follow up in the future and build a rapport along with time. So timeline, the way I transfer from condition to timeline is something like this. Hey, look, Mr. Seller, thank you again. I understand the taxes are, going up. Definitely, I want to help you with that. I want to make you a cash offer. Now, on the side note, our company usually buys, when we buy property, we close within 25 to 35 days. Is that too fast or too slow for you? See, right there, I'm qualifying the timeline. I want to give them a 25, 35-day time frame. Is that too fast or too slow? What that does is it tells the homeowner to say, well, you know what, that's too fast, Manny, or that's too slow. Homeowner says that's too fast. Hey, I know what, Mr. Sully, I understand. What we can do is we can work on your time, meaning we can get the paperwork started sometime today or sometime this week, and we can hold the funds for you. And all you have to do is give me a call whenever you're looking to sell. Let me have some water. So pretty much what I do is, Mr. Sully, don't worry, we can close on your time. But what I like to do is lock up the funds with my financial department first, and then we can close on your time. All you have to do is give me a call, and then we reschedule the closing day. Now, homeowner says, you know what, Manny, 25, 35 days, that's too slow. I'm looking to get this done faster. Okay, well, how soon are you looking to do this? Well, I wanted to happen in a week. Never, this is for you guys that are listening, and I want you to take notes on this because you're gonna, you may fall for this one, and if you fall for this one, you're gonna fall bad. Like you're gonna look so bad that yes. So make sure you write down what I'm gonna say because you don't want to look stupid over the phone. So if homeowner says, I want to close in 10 days, don't ever say, yes, we can do that. Don't ever say, yes, I'm gonna close in 10 days. Don't ever say that. Because what's going to happen, if you say that, then you're going to put yourself in a position where you have, because you already said that you will close in 10 days. But what if title commitment doesn't come back within the next 7 days? And then you only got 3 days to find a buyer and you got to do some showings, and then 10 days goes by and you haven't sold the deal, then you're screwed, right? So what I'd like to say to that question is, look, Mr. Seller, I don't guarantee on the 10 days, all I can guarantee is that we can close as soon as title's clear. Let me say that one more time for those of you guys that are taking notes. Mr. Seller, I don't guarantee that we're going to close in the 10 days, but what I can guarantee is that we will close as soon as title's clear. What am I doing there? I'm telling the homeowner, hey, look, I can't tell you that I'm gonna close into your timeline, but I can close as soon as title is clear. Now it's not up to me when I'm gonna close on the property. I'm gonna close when your title that you're telling me that the property it's free and clear and there's no title issues, but I still gotta run it with title company. I'm gonna close when title company gives me the okay. By me, it's differentiating myself from the title company, and I'm here. What I'm doing is, it's not up to me. It's on your title company. It's on your title and the title company. And usually 9 out of 10, they'll tell you, okay, I understand. I get it. You have to run title. And that's how you get away from, I want to close in 10 days. I hope you like that one. Let me see. You guys like that one or what? You guys like that one? If you guys like that one, go ahead and comment yes.
That was a good one. That was good. I hope everybody was taking notes on that one. That was gold right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So awesome. Perfect. Awesome. You guys say yes, we liked it. Wonderful. Let's keep going, because then we're going to get to the actually green and greedy when it comes to talking numbers and how to make offers. So here we go. So now what's next? What's next is price, right? We need to know how much they want. We need to know how much you're looking to get for the property. Now, another thing is, guys, don't ever make a phone call and ask the homeowner, well, how much do you want for the property, Mr. Seller? I mean, that's too urban. You're not buying a phone. You're buying a house. You know what I'm saying? We're buying $100,000 item. A 200,000, whatever the number might be. But the way you want to ask that question, and I have split tested so many ways, and the best way that worked for me that list is, hey, look, Mr. Seller. Everything that you just told me makes sense. So what I do here, I do a little resume of everything that they told me. And this is how it goes. Mr. Seller, I get it. The property needs some work. You want to sell because of the taxes. You're looking to do this between 25 and 35 days, which is a good timeline. Now, I like to say is this, Mr. Seller, our company buys properties in as-is condition. As I mentioned earlier, we pay cash. We pay all the closing costs. And one of my favorite ones, Mr. Seller, is that you don't have to pay me any commission because I'm not a realtor. How good is that, Mr. Seller? Why am I sounding like this? Because, guys, a regular Joe, a regular homeowner, they don't know about wholesalers. They don't know about like what we do. So in their mind, when they're looking to sell a property, they just think, oh, real estate agent, commission. That's what they think of, right? So I want to put that objection on their head right away from the get-go. Like, hey, you don't have to pay me any commission. You don't have to pay me any closing costs. So I differentiate myself from the realtor to an actual professional cash buyer, because a lot of people think that our competition are us wholesaler. We're not competition. We're not competing against each other. The way I see it is realtors. Realtors are the ones that, they have the upper hand because they have a license. They went to school and they know the law and whatever. And so homeowners, they think because they have a license, they know everything. I'm not, judging the realtor, good for them, but really, we are the professional. We know how to run title. We know how to clear title. We know, how to run the property. We know how to make offers. So you have to become the professional at that point and differentiate yourself between a realtor and yourself. And the way I do it is exactly like that, Mr. Seller. And my favorite one is that you do not have to pay me any commission because I'm not a realtor. The 6-8% commission closing costs that you gotta pay when you sell a house. Well, with me, you don't have to pay me. How good is that? And I have them reaffirm, oh, wow, really? Yes, Mr. Seller. Now, the $1 million question comes, now, Mr. Seller, if I'm willing to do all that for you, what is the ballpark figure you consider for the property? And literally at that tone, I asked that question. If I'm willing to do all that for you, what is the ballpark figure you consider for the property? Keywords in here, ballpark figure. A ballpark figure means range, an average, a range between 80 and 90, between 90, 100, whatever, right? So you wanna have a homeowner to give you a ballpark range because you don't want it to be set at a price. So whenever the price comes out, well, I want 100,000. Great, that's what you want. You wanted to tell your price first, but let's be honest. Sometimes they'll tell you, well, you calling me, you tell me, right? You calling me, you tell me. And what I like to say is, look, Mr. Seller, I get it. I call you and I know you may be thinking I know what I'm going to be offering, but the reason why I'm asking is because my financial department is actually the one that runs all the numbers. And once I present to them this file and I tell them what you're asking, it's simple. The process is either yes or no. If we agree to the price that you want, I just call you right back and say, hey, Mr. Seller, we can do it. Or if no, I'm just going to call you and say, hey, no, we cannot do it. We have to be at this price. Does that make sense? So when I break it down like that, I put myself that it has to be up to the financial department that runs the number, not me. So I need to know the price. That way I can give it to my financial department and they can get it and they can get it approved. So you got to put yourself always as a consultant. And there's always somebody above you, your boss, your financial department, your senior partner, your private investor, whoever you want to name it. But there's have to be somebody always above yourself, because you never want to be the shot caller. Because if you make a mistake, it's never going to come from Manny. It's never going to come from Daniel. It's going to come from the financial department. And that's how I do it when I'm trying to get price out of the seller. Great. That's how I qualify. I answered the first question. That's how I do it. Any questions on that, guys?
I think I'm good. We got tons more questions coming in, but yeah, let's keep it going, man. Good stuff.
Good. What do you handle driver personality? How do you learn a driven personality that continues to want you to come up with a price? Okay, well, let's answer this one real quick, Laura. When it comes to those where they just want to, just make me an offer. I take them serious, but I don't take them too serious because, you're looking to sell. Why don't you have a price in mind, So the way I like to do is real quick. I go on Zillow And if Zillow, rule of thumb is Zillow says 100,000, I just times 70% minus, I calculate my rehab, you know, because I already know. So let's just say, to make it easier for you guys, let's just say Zillow says 100, just do 40%, like do 40% of that. So like do the over 40,000 on it, like $30,000 to $40,000. So what I like to do is, Mr. Seller, our financial departments are buying properties in that area anywhere from from $30,000 to $40,000, and that's it, you know. And it's either, if you say yes, great, but if it says no, well, okay, well, that's why I'm asking, what would you consider? That way I can present it to my financial department and we can get it approved. See, that's how I do that. Can you say that again? Which part? Which part? Okay, driver personality. Okay, the two Laura. They call you. You call me and won't give you a number. This is goal. Okay, thank you so much. No problem. Awesome, perfect. Let's go ahead and move on to how do we make an offer. Arthur asked that question. Manny, how do you make an offer? The way we make offers, again, I don't make the offer. I don't make the offer. My financial department is the one that came up with the number. I just deliver it, the number. One more time. It sounds weird, right? But Manny, what do you mean you don't make the offer? No, the offer is coming from somebody above me. Guys, if you're a one-man show, if you're a two-man team, you know, you have to be your CEO, you have to be disposition, you have to be acquisition, you have to be the call caller. So put yourself on those roles, put yourself on those positions, okay? Let's be a little bit, como decimos en español, pila, you know, let's be a little more faster, you know, thinker, right? So if homeowner said, well, what's your offer? Mrs. Seller, after running the number with financial department, they like to buy properties in this area anywhere from $40,000 to $50,000. One more time. The offer is coming from who? From my financial department. They like to be around $40,000 to $50,000. Now, two things. Homeowner says, no, hell no, that's too low. That's way too low. Homeowner gets mad, gets upset. Hey, Mrs. Seller, I know, I agree with you. That's what I told them. That's exactly what I told them. Like, they were crazy at coming up with those numbers. But I'm just, as I told you, I want to deliver to you what they say. But hey, now that you know where they add numbers, what price would you like to be at? You know, I know they cannot do 80 and you cannot do 40 to 50. You know, is there any wiggle room in the middle there that I can work with you? Mrs. Sully, I have you here on the phone. You and I work together. Let me help you get that approval. Is there any wiggle room in the $80,000 that I can walk right now to my boss office and get it approved? See, so now what I'm doing is I'm putting myself in the middle of the conversation. There is the homeowner, there's myself, and there is the financial department. So if this is the homeowner myself, I want to be as close as I can to the homeowner. That way, when I get good with him, I can run back to my financial department and get that approval. That makes sense. I'm asking you guys, does that make sense? Like what I'm trying to say? Does that make sense? Absolutely. Yes. Okay. Good. It makes sense. Perfect. Makes sense. And the reason why is because I found out that if I make the offer, if I tell Daniel, hey Daniel, I have to be at 80,000 to buy this property, you know, he's gonna be like, man, are you crazy? That's too low, you know. And then him and I are gonna get to, you know, back and forth, and then it's gonna become personal because it came from me. It came from Manny. Now, when it comes from somebody else, from your financial department, your senior partner, or even you can use the market as well. You can use the market. And the way you use the market is like this. Mr. Sully, do you know where San Pedro and Blanco is at? So, but in order for you to do this one, you have to know the area. So you should be already looking at Zillow and know the streets, right? If you know the property, it's in, you know, and that's Zedco, and you know the streets around. Mr. Sully, you know where San Pedro and Blanco is at? Oh yeah, I do. Great. And the reason why I'm asking is because there's a property right by yours. Not too far away. It's 2 blocks down in very similar condition as yours. It's a 3-1. It's a little bit bigger though. It's about 100 square feet bigger, and that one sold for $45,000 cash and as is. So that's another way that you can go ahead and pitch offers, because you're blending the market on based on the market what they're buying for. You telling them, hey, they're buying for $45,000 to $50,000. So again, it's not coming from you; it's coming from the market. And that's how you make offers. Now, what is the minimum amount of records you should have to start cold calling campaigns? That's a good question. If it's a one-man show, I want to say at least a good probably 2,000. I mean, it's two between 2,500 to 5,000. and that should keep you busy for a while, because you're gonna get followers from there. You're gonna get people that say yes, people that say no. So I'm gonna say 2,500 to 1,000 on call calling. And SMS, you may need more because SMS goes by fast. So what are the minimum? Okay, good. How often should you go through call calling list? Okay, how often you should go through a call calling list? I like to go at least. I want to say 3 to 4 times. 3 to 4 times. And what I do is we change the numbers. We change the phone numbers. So every time we recycle the list, we change the phone number. That way it's coming from a different number. So yeah, around that time. How do you say to callers that doesn't admit their distress? What do you say to a caller who doesn't admit their distress of the property? Yeah, I mean, if the homeowner is not distressed and the property is not distressed, and you find out that there's no motivation, then you're talking definitely with somebody that's not, it doesn't meet our criteria. Remember, we're either on the people's problem or property's problem, and if it doesn't meet those two criteria, then I don't know. I mean, probably a listing offer to put it on the market. Let me see what else. Laura said, do you use price anchoring to introduce a low price initially? If so, can you go over how you do that with the seller when you covering closing? Yeah. So again, Laura, as I said, usually the price that I gift, it's an anchor. It's very low. It's low. It's about $15,000 below my MAO. MAO stands for maximum allowed offer. So if my maximum allowed offer is 60,000, I like to start $15,000 below, anywhere from 45, 40 to 45, and I give that ballpark range. And then I work my way up to where I get to 60. If I know at 60 I'm making 15,000, then that's where I stopped. I hope that answered that question. Let me see what else. What is the preferred marketing method for leads? It's not SMS. If it's not SMS and you prefer module cold calling or RVMs, explain why people want to do voicemail, or do you want to know? Okay, that's a good question. So MJ, Los Angeles. So here in our company, HBHS, we do call calling, we do SMS with smart contact, and we do RVM. We like both. We like pretty much, actually, we like more SMS and call calling. SMS is very efficient because it's like that, like fast, like super quick. And the conversion rate, it's a lot higher, and it's cheaper. It's cheaper to get a contract with SMS than actually call calling. When you do your KPI purposes, when you track your numbers, how much it will cost you to get a contract on SMS and call calling, SMS it's a lot cheaper. And voicemail, when it comes to RVN can get expensive. And you just have to be on top of your leads when they call back, or whenever they try to call you back. So yes. Let me see what else. For SMS marketing, who you prefer, skip tracing companies you use. We have IDI data for that, for skip tracing. Do you say a minimum of 5,000 records to start call calling campaign? How many for SMS campaign? Yeah, for a call calling campaign, about 5,000 would be decent. That'll keep you busy for a while. Now, let me ask Teddy. He's here next to me. Teddy, for SMS campaign to start for somebody, how many records should be ideally? A one-man show. 5,000. 5,000 a month, he said. So 5,000 a month should do it for SMS. It's just one-man show. And again, the reason why I'm asking is because he's the one that runs all the SMS. So let me see what else here. We have entry levels, VA, 6% an hour. How much of this would you have VAs do? What versus a lead manager? 15. Okay, so Slava, that's a good question. 6 to 7 an hour. How much will you have a VA versus lead manager? Yeah, so my lead manager, my VA. So we have plenty of VAs, and out of all of the VAs, we have one VA that is the manager of all of the VAs. If that makes sense. We pay them just a little bit. We pay them per hour, and we pay them bonuses per contract closed. And same thing with the manager VA. We pay them hourly, a good amount, hourly rate plus per contract closed. So $15 to $18 an hour. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't know if you're hiring an American or you're hiring overseas. If it's overseas, that's a lot, in my opinion. 15 to 18. I think that's a lot. How much is this? How much of this script will you give to a VA versus someone? So okay, this script that I just went over, the intro, condition, motivation, timeline, and price. That script works for everybody, like everybody. VA, no VA, senior acquisition, junior acquisition, American scholar. It doesn't matter. It's gonna work for all of you guys. Plus, my favorite one, my favorite part of this script is that you don't have to change it whenever you're talking subject to. I'm sure you guys know what subject to deals are. I'm sure you guys know what creative finance deals are. This script will work for all kind of deals. Subject to creative finance, cash offers, because along the conversation, when you start qualifying, you're gonna find out, probably the property was bought 2 years ago, and there's a mortgage in place. So now you have to shift the conversation to actually cash to a subject to deal. Okay, good. I think I answered all the questions. How much? Yeah, bring into the other buyers. Okay, now, how do you explain to the seller that you will bring another buyer to see the house? Oh, that's easy. That's easy, Arthur. That's easy. You don't even have to say that you're gonna bring another buyer. All you have to say, hey, I'm bringing my contractor. Simple. I'm bringing my contractor that's going to give me a bid on the property, how much it's going to cost me for the foundation, roof, AC, and everything else. So I need to walk the property with him. That way I know exactly how much I'm getting into, or what I'm getting into, and how much it's going to cost me. So that's what you say. And that's what we've been saying, even when we do it virtually on all counties, that's what we do it. How do you put warm leads into a drip campaign? Okay, great. So now we're going to get into follow-ups, right? You get the lead into follow-up, guys. A rule of thumb is this: homeowner says, hey, I want to sell in 2 months. You want to call half of the time that they tell you. They say 2 months, you want to call in half a month. If homeowner says, call me in 2 weeks, you're going to call in 1 week. How often should you follow up? I like to follow up. Well, it depends on the lead. I like to follow up at least every 3 days. Yes, that's how persistent and consistent I am on my follow-ups. Every 3 days, I'm calling the homeowner. I'm following up in 2 different ways. I'm following up on calls. I'm following up on SMS, and I'm following up on RVNs, which is voicemail. But I leave a voicemail on my phone. So that's how I follow up with that. Do you try to have all your buyers come one big appointment, or do you use multiple appointments? So yes, I'll encourage you to do one appointment, just do one at one, just because if you do one at a time, then you don't want to keep bothering the homeowner, over and over and over and over, then it's going to sound sketchy. Why are you bringing so many people? I mean, just all you need is 1 to 2 contractors, but now if you bring, you say 4 people at once, then, okay, well, look, this dude's the roofing, this dude does the foundation, this dude's the AC guy, and this dude's the painting guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's, we like to do it here. I don't do dispo. Red does the dispo, but we like to do just all of them at once. Let me see. What other questions do we have? I think we answer.
So there's a couple actually in the chat. So Laura asked, what do you say on follow-up? I struggle not to keep saying the same thing. I want to show them my goal is to add value.
Okay. Yes, that's the problem. Not the problem, but that's it. I always get that question. I don't know. That question, it's easy. Like, you don't have to talk about the property. And I think that's where I'm good at, because when I follow up, I don't just really talk about the property. I talk based on their problem, based on why they're looking to sell. So this is how it goes. When I'm calling back like this. Hey, Daniel, how you doing? It's Manny again. I'm calling back here on the property of Bandera Road. I know we spoke last week on the property. You're looking to sell. How's everything going so far? Everything going good? Yeah, well, everything going good, doing this and that. Great. Look, man, I just wanted to, make sure everything is good with you and see if, we're getting ready to go ahead and move forward with this. I just talked to my financial department. We were looking at the file, and they're still interested. They want to just, give you a call to see if we're going to move forward sometime this month or maybe beginning of next year. When do you think we're gonna go ahead and get this started? So see, now I'm getting into, a little more friendly type of deal, more soft, but also I'm qualifying. I'm qualifying. If you notice, I always use financial department, and that's how I do it. And based on their answer, well, you know what? I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do when I moved out or this and that. Okay, great. Well, have you started looking around? You see, and I start sparking a conversation based on what they say. And that's how I do it.
Got it. And then there's another one from Jeff. How do you get some folks from text over to a phone call when they just want to text?
Yes, it's a good one. That's a great question because the steps for us here in our company, it's like this: we send SMS campaign, we qualify an SMS, and then we get on the phone. But it's happened before where my man Teddy right here next to me, he's closed deals 100% virtually. It's weird, dude. Like it was weird. I didn't believe it until he actually showed me, and he actually told me he's done it already like multiple times, where he's closed deals where they never picked up the phone. Everything was through text. And for me, I'm a people person, right? Like I like to talk. So, and for me that was weird. I'm like, man, you never got on the phone with this lady, like. She never, he's like, no, dude, she never answered my phone call. Like every time I called her, she said, text me, text me, text me. And we thought it was a scam, but really she was the owner of the property. So whenever that happened, you just gotta play with it. You just build rapport through text and go through the funnel, go through the qualification process on text, make the offer on text, everything to text. But what you want to do is always, rule of thumb is, you're already qualifying through text, pick up the phone and call him back. And the call back is gonna sound like this. Hey Daniel, how you doing? This is Manny. We were talking over text on the property here at Bandera Road, and I just wanted to, give you a quick call to introduce myself. It doesn't sound weird. You're talking to somebody over text. Now you're hearing who you're talking to. Hey Daniel, again, this is Manny. How are you doing today, buddy? You see? So then now I'm on the phone. Now I started building rapport on the phone. But guess what? The hard part has been done on text, which was the qualification process. So that's how we do it.
That's a good one. And then one last one so far. Adam's curious, how many leads does it take you to get one deal on average?
That's a good one. So in here, we're looking at for every 15 opportunities, we call opportunities, I guess, leads, right? But opportunity for me are, I want to sell, make me an offer, and okay, I want to sell, make me an offer. That's it, right? People that say, make me an offer, I want to sell. How does it work? Those I consider opportunities. So it takes me, in general, here in our company, it takes 15 of those to get 1 to 2 contracts. An average is 1 contract for every 15 ops. So I hope that answers your question. So it's if you're getting 15 opportunities and you're not closing a deal, then you got to reevaluate your script or your pitch, your offers, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, why it's not hitting, and that's how we do it.
Awesome. So I think that's it for questions right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys have any more questions, keep them coming. And Manny, man, you got anything else for us? Or I think that was that was. Yeah. I was like, I think that could have been a whole course right there.
Give you guys give you guys a whole course.
That was like a whole course. Yeah. I hope everybody was taking notes. Yeah. Who knows? I think we might need to keep this video private. I don't know. What do you think? Should we share this on YouTube?
Because there's some golden nuggets in here that if you share this with your VAs and your acquisition or your callers, I can guarantee that you guys are going to have success. So yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, I gotta drop it. I'm coming up with a YouTube channel. For those of you that don't know, I started my YouTube channel. It's Manny Cash. I'm actually gonna see if I can put the link in here. Oops, no, that's not. That's an address. where I'm gonna be going over all this that I just talked about on videos. Um, and I'm gonna be doing the cash hour. For those of you guys that know or don't know, the cash hour is something that I do, Daniel, every other Friday, where I go live and I call leads live, and I call the audience leads as well. So for those of you that want to be part of the cash hour, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And starting 2021, every other Friday, I'm gonna be going live where you get to submit your leads. I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna help you, build a report and build that. Hopefully, get that contract. Like for example, yesterday, I got a contract where this dude, his first deal. He called me from California. He's like, hey, dude, I did a cold calling campaign in your city in San Antonio. I got somebody over the phone said, want to sell. Can you help me? I said, sure. Put him on the line. And we ended up locking up the deal. ARV's 260. We got it for 160. It needs about $10,000 in rehab. I mean, that's a hell of a deal. It's a new build, 2017. I mean, it property is paid off. So, and that was his first deal. So for those of you guys that are starting out or probably already done deals and need help closing, need help on talking to people, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel because it's about to get real in here.
When I repost this on our YouTube channel and Facebook group, I'll put the link below to your YouTube channel so people can find it there as well too. Now, is it live on YouTube or is it also live in a Facebook group?
No,
in your other Facebook
I'm going
group?
to do it live on YouTube. So you have to
subscribe
on YouTube, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. Everybody go subscribe to his YouTube channel. Let's give him some love. Let's help him grow. And then definitely check that out. So yeah, I'll share the link as well too.
Yeah, man.
I guess one last.
I'm looking forward also, Daniel, in the future. As I told you, where I'm actually calling right now. I call single family, but I don't calling as much as I used to. But I'm calling multifamily, which is a different business, it's a different animal, it's a different conversation, So it's like it gets me excited because we're talking 5 millions, 10 millions, 25 millions. 380 units, like you're talking to a businessman that this dude is a multi-million-dollar man, and you gotta sound good, you have to have confidence. So now I'm getting into that, I'm building that muscle onto getting to multifamily, and I look forward probably in the next 6 months, once tomorrow I'm gonna close my first one, but I want to have at least a good 3-4 under my belt to start actually sharing how I do it. So hopefully by the summer next year, I've already got a few of them, and I can teach you guys how I do it. So.
Yes, and we would love that as well too. That's awesome, man. I love hearing that you guys are scaling to that next level, bigger properties out there. Now, has your team just started getting into multifam, or have you kind of been dabbling in the past with it, or are you kind of just now taking it seriously and kind of being like, all right, let's go a little bit more heavy focus on that?
Yeah, so that's a good question, Daniel. So Mike and Charles, I'm sure you guys know, and Mike and Charles, my two mentors here, they're actually investors in 152 units in Dallas. They are owners of 152 units in Dallas, Fort Worth. So they've been already kind of into the investment part. But myself, along with my man Teddy, we have built a team here in the past year and a half. So the team is already built. It's already going. Everybody's scaled up to the point where they can, support themselves and keep moving forward with the single family. So now I'm stepping a little bit. I'm giving a step away on that part so I can scale up, and I'm taking it serious. Both him and I were taking it serious 100% in 2021 in the multifamily syndication and also wholesaling multifamilies. Like I said, tomorrow we're closing in 5 units. We're working at 31 units in El Paso, which is looking phenomenal so far, looking great. So yes, 2021, that's where we're going to be heading to, and also land development, 100 acres, 50 acres, 200 acres to develop land, to subdivide land, and also wholesale by lot to, actually developers. So yeah.
Dude, that's huge. Might have to maybe get your team and do an interview style, because I'm sure, I don't know, at least myself, Adam, and I probably know there's going to be a handful of Smarter Contact members who would love to hear about your syndication and kind of going into that new market. Because I know there's that's always on every investor's mind who's been in the business for a while. It's like, okay, been wholesaling for a while, or I went from wholesaling to flipping. Yeah. It's like, all right, I've been doing family for a while. It's like, all right, what's that next level? next level, you know, bigger projects, and that, of course, multifamily and land is that next level.
bro. Yeah.
So
That's how I feel, you know. That's how
glad
I
to hear
feel,
that.
and it's a good feeling, you know. It's a good feeling of and guys, hey, for those of you that are here and are starting in single family, you don't necessarily have to start in single family. You can go straight forward to multi. Um, but you know, I just that's where it started. And now I feel like, okay, look, I need to get to the next level, and I feel like that's the next level, you know. And knowing that my good friend Adrian Salazar, he's already, you know, a multi-million-dollar man, and he started a single family, and he's a multi-family. Actually, 2 days ago he closed an 88 unit. So you know, having people like that influence you, so also pushes me to take it to the next one.
Definitely. Well, glad to hear that, man. Congrats on the one you're about to close.
Thank you.
And yeah, I guess we can wrap it up there. Man, that was a lot of gold, man. I think that could have been a course right there.
Yes.
So we'll probably save the rest for next time. But thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Don't forget, the replay will be on the YouTube channel, the Facebook group. Subscribe to Manny's YouTube channel. If you have any questions, he'll also be in the group as well. And yeah, we will see you all next time.
Daniel, before
Manny, thanks again.
Daniel, before everybody leaves, I forgot about this. I'm sorry, man. Guys, for those that don't know, I don't really promote this because I don't really promote it, but I've been asked a lot, Manny, do you have a program? Manny, do you have a coaching? Manny, do you have a mentorship? Look, guys, I don't mentor people in wholesaling. I'm not gonna mentor you in wholesaling. That's for Mike and Charles. That's for all the people. What I can help you is I do have a program, Daniel. It's called the Closest Program. The Closest Program consists in this. It's a whole month. It's 4 weeks. And those 4 weeks, it's a one-on-one coaching call, in a Zoom call like this, where I go over all your business, your leads, your acquisition part, everything that has to do with acquisition. I go over and I structure it to the point where how I do it and how HBHS does it. It's an hour and a half every Friday or Saturday for a whole month. And it's not one of those where, here, here's 10 videos, go ahead and watch them and then get back with me. No, this is one-on-one, you and I on a call. The call is recorded. You get to have the calls for your records. And in that month, I'll coach you up in how to call and how to actually close, and how to make offer, everything we just talked about, but more in details, right? Creative finance, subject to cash offers. So for those of you that are interested on that, go ahead and follow me on IG, Manny Cash HBHS. It's Manny Cash HBHS. And send me a DM. Let's get on a phone call and see if actually this is something you would like to benefit. And if it does, hey, let's rock and roll. I'm only taking 2 to 3 people a month because I don't want to take it too rough. But that's it. I just wanted to drop that in there. Daniel, thank you so much, my man. Okay. I appreciate you. Thank you, guys. I hope you guys loved it.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, that's great. You know, it's one thing, you know, watching and listening to a video, whether it's live or not, but getting that hands-on training, that one-on-one, definitely takes it to the next level. So if you guys are interested, connect ASAP on that. Sounds like a great opportunity. But yeah, let's wrap that up. Manny, thanks again. Everybody, we will see you at the next.